Hi everybody, tonight we got a commentary on Big Thursday Modern at Magic Corner, and joining me we've got Michi.
Yeah, and on my side is Walter Wolfler.
And here we got the first match of the night, which is 5-color humans against Burn.
Yeah, well, on the left side is 5-color humans. On the right side we have the Burn player. 5-color humans is a pretty new deck, I would say, Walter, or?
Yeah, definitely. The deck just had its breakout, so to speak, with Ixalan, because there were two key pieces of the deck introduced just now. One of them is actually land, because now with Unclaimed Territory, the deck has access to 12 5-color lands. You're playing 4 copies of Cavern of Souls, then you're playing 4 copies of Unclaimed Territory, which is kind of just an inferior version of Cavern of Souls, but for what the deck wants to be doing, which is cast human creatures in all 5 colors. It's still good enough, and then you can play 4 Ancient Cigarettes. For those not unaware of what that little old land does, it makes 1 mana of any color, but you can only use that for creature spells. Convenient deck plays, I think it's like 36 creatures, 4 Ether Vials, 20 lands. So that's quite good there.
Yeah,
and then you got Kite Sail Freebooter, which is basically the rest on the stick. It's a 1/2 flyer. It's a human pirate from Ixalan. And when it enters the battlefield, you get to look at your opponent's hand, and you get to temporarily take an instant, a non-creature spell. Sorry, it's a non-creature spell until the Kite Sail Freebooter leaves the battlefield.
Yeah, well, it's a nice, interesting card, which was just printed recently. Do you have any favorites in this matchup? Or are you more on the Burn side? Are you more on the 5-color human side?
It's hard to say. Burn has some good tools, because obviously Burn has burn spells that can interact with creatures too, and sometimes the human deck depends on some particular pieces. But on the other hand, the human deck has some pieces of interaction too. It only plays creatures, but its creatures are interaction, because we not only got Kite Sail Freebooter, we also got Meddling Mage.
Yeah, which is an amazing card. I think it doesn't have seen play in quite some time, at least in Modern. And yeah, because of the 5-color human stack, I think it's spiked a little bit.
Yeah, and the thing with that is Meddling Mage is always at its best when you combine it with other effects that let you look at your opponent's hand. For example, Taxing Probe, which, as we all know, is banned in Modern, so that's not an option here. But Kite Sail Freebooter also does the same thing. Even if you don't hit, you still get to look at your opponent's cards, which makes any follow-up Meddling Mages just way better.
Yeah, so let's look at a match a little bit. Nothing is yet going on because both players took a mulligan to 6.
Yeah, who do you think a mulligan favors here in this matchup?
I would say...
like a mutual mulligan.
I would kind of say the humans player, actually. Because I'm quite sure that Burn doesn't mulligan that good.
Yeah, Burn is definitely much more of a critical mass deck compared to humans, which is a synergy-based deck, but sometimes just a few pieces or a few humans together already.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It started, okay. From the 5-color humans player, Cavern of Souls into Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, and we got the Burn player just fetching of what I think is an Expeditionary Mesa, and I think he's gonna bolt the bird. So no damage to the face.
Yeah, which let's both players remain at 20 life.
Do you think the Burn player always wants to bolt the bird in this situation?
I kind of actually do, because of the human synergies and devastating turns by the 5-color humans player. I think I just saw Talia's Lieutenant in his hand.
Talia's Lieutenant, yeah.
Lieutenant, yes. And if he plays this with another humans, I think the game can get easily out of control.
What's interesting here is the human deck also has quite a few potent 3-drops. One thing that's pretty brutal against the Burn deck, actually, is Thalia Heretica. Oh, now we have an Island of Great Revel entering the battlefield.
Okay, the human player scoops up because he missed a land drop, actually. Just started with Cavern of Souls into Noble Hierarch. No more lands there.
Yeah, and so the Eidolon seals the deal, because even if you would draw another land, every single spell you would cast would just run into the Eidolon trigger. There's not a single spell in the whole human stack, as far as I'm aware of, and I'm pretty sure about this, that costs 4 or more mana. So you're just taking your 2 every time.
Yes. Pretty interesting that the first game was over quite soon. Like it was turn 2 of the burn player and the game was over.
So in terms of sideboarding, do you know what the 5-color human stack is in your deck? What does it play in the sideboard? What tools does burn generally have available that might be effective in the creature matchup?
Yeah, well, I think burn will definitely teleport in, or if it doesn't play, it will put in ensnaring bridges, I would guess. So
Does this player have ensnaring bridges? Because ensnaring bridge is pretty brutal. It's not often seen in burn sideboards, but it turns up from time to time, and you can definitely swing these matchups, especially if the opponent has only creatures as ways to win the game and doesn't have any answers to the bridge, which you wouldn't bring in preemptively, because it's not like burn players mostly start that many artifacts and or enchantments.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the burn player will put out. I'm guessing the Eidolons will stay in, or what do you think?
On the draw, in this matchup, I would still leave the Eidolons in, definitely. Because even though you're on the draw against a deck that uses Vile and is aggressive, I still think that the Eidolon gives you a long-term source of advantage, especially because you sometimes want to play a little bit more of a control role, but I'm not completely sure about this. They might come out on the draw too. I would definitely want them in on the play, though.
Yeah, if we're lucky, we can see this interaction right now in the current match. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so both are currently shuffling, and the 5-color humans player will.
Interestingly, what I can tell you is that the burn player is ambitious, because he's starting the match at 7. He's starting game 2 at 17 life. So the thing is, he's already committed to turn 1 fetch shock, which is very likely to actually happen.
Yes,
so it might just be a smart, lazy move on his side.
Yeah, because it's quite usual for burn to shock the first turn.
Exactly, because the burn deck, even if it's only the straight Boros version, because Attacker's Command has become less and less played over the course of the past year or so. Even in the Boros version, you often just want to shock on Sacred Foundry on turn 1 in order to really fix your mana. Yes. Unless you have Inspiring Vantage in hand, which these decks, I think nowadays, generally play 2 to 3 copies of, in order to take a bit less damage.
Yeah, which does actually the same as Fetch and Shock, just without Fetch and Shock, so it saves you 3 lives in the beginning, which is actually quite nice.
Exactly. The thing in burn with those mana bases, why you can't play all that many Inspiring Vantages, is that you also play Destructive Revel in the sideboard, still in these Boros versions. So you need you play 1 Stomping Ground, you want to be able to play at least a turn 3 Destructive Revelry, which means you want 13 sources, which means you need to play the 12 fetches in addition to your Stomping Ground, which means you don't have space for the 4 Inspiring Vantages you could play if you weren't playing green sideboard cards.
Well, it's a tough start for 5-color humans, because we see Mulligan on this side, down to 6 on the play.
I think 6 on the play is still something. If he gets a good 6, this is something he can work with in his matchup, especially because he has cards like he has obviously 4 copies of Thalia, Guardian of Straben. So he keeps.
Okay, Scry to the top. Starts with Cavern of Souls.
And Eversense Pilgrim.
Wow,
so Eversense Pilgrim is basically just the inferior version of Noble Hierarch, but it's still played here over birds because it's a human and a bird is not.
Okay, and it's eating a bolt.
Same start as last game, but we get to see more than one turn.
We actually don't see fetch for free on turn 1. Just fetch to a mountain, so it goes to 19.
Okay, I was wrong about that one. But on turn 2, we see
the
Pirate King.
Oh, the opponent reads it.
Yeah, he probably didn't expect to see this little pirate from Ixalan played in Modern. And there is
Ensnaring Bridge.
Yeah, you were right about this. Not many players have it in the sideboard, but he's got it. And the humans player must be really happy about this, that he gets to take this of course, there are a lot of answers to Kitesail Freebooter in the deck, but none in hand right now, right?
Yes, he is. The burn player doesn't have any creature removal actually in hand, just a Lava Spike and a Boros Charm.
But we probably could already say that Ensnaring Bridge would basically just spell game over if it ever resolves, wouldn't we?
Well, I
Like if
don't know
the
how
burn
the
player
board
gets
of
to
the
open
Five
their
Color Human
hand.
spell look like.
Do you think that he would bring in any artifact remover without knowing that there's a bridge hiding in the burn player's sideboard?
I'm not quite sure about this, but maybe.
Oh, a favorite of mine. We're seeing Kambarli at a console of evocation. Very, very nice card.
Okay, we see your response there.
That-
Boros Charm.
Yeah, so what Kambar does is, whenever your opponent casts a non-creature spell, you get to drain them for 2, and this is amazing against the burn deck, because even if they remove it immediately, they have to vote a creature instead of your face, and heroes instead of Kitesail Freebooter, and you gain 2 life and drain them for 2 and get closer to killing them, which is very important in this like racy situation here.
Yeah. Despite it's just being turn free on this game, I will say that bird player is in a lot of trouble because 2 lands in hand, 1 Lava Spike, which is kind of useless in this situation because of Kambal, and 2 also 2 unknown cards in hand.
Yeah, and the thing is,
it's quite a difficult situation.
the thing is, there's 2 creatures that need to be dealt with,
Yes.
and you can't deal with both of them at the same time. So what you need to do is basically just hope to be ripping 2 burn spells that can target creatures. Here, the Lightning Helix, the first of that. So step 1 accomplished. So we'll see. Maybe he'll get step 2 too.
So
Yeah, some confusion about the life totals, but now we see the burn player just fetching an untapped mountain.
I think he's going to play Lava Spike now this turn.
Yeah, what's happening is we're still in the burn player's main phase. We just got the combo removed, then the fetching happened, and now we just probably see a Lava Spike to the face.
Yeah, and here it comes. Okay, so turn of the 5 color humans player. Draws. Fetch land. Okay. Ooh, another Kitesail Freebooter.
And that gets the last card from the burn player's hand, which was a copy of Skullcrack, which can prevent any potential life gain from the human stack. But now he's empty-handed basically, except for the stomping ground that's in his hand, because he was nice enough to keep his hand revealed after the Kitesail Freebooter hit the battlefield. And now...
Yeah. So the 5 color human stack is fetching for a Hallowed Fountain. But the human deck player also has just 1 card in hand. Let's see what it will be.
Yeah, they're both on 14 life. At this point, we have 2 damage a turn here. But every time the burn player now draws a spell that can target a creature, he gets another spell back. So they're all 2 for 1s. Every spell that targets a creature from this point is a straight 2 for 1. So that's quite good.
Oh, another one! Revealing a land.
So this is the humans player is just trying to beat down. At this point, we have a 4-turn clock. So actually, the third Kitesail Freebooter, even though it didn't hit any target here, was still quite important because it shaves quite a few turns off the clock. We had a 6-turn clock before, and now we get to see Riftboard. Why do you think he suspends the Riftboard here instead of hard casting it?
This is a good question. Maybe he wants to save it for a better target from the humans player.
That's a good thing, because that's the only point. It kind of prevents the humans player from playing a good creature if he has it in hand.
Let's see. Maybe he wanted to do it to now get the Ensnaring Bridge, so the humans player can't get rid of it from its hand.
Sure. So if the humans player had access to another, but he could have played the Ensnaring Bridge after the... no, he couldn't. He only was at 5 mana. Yeah, you're all right about this. 0
cards in hand for the burn player, Ensnaring Bridge and Grim Lavamancer are in play.
Basically, what we're playing now is the game of, is there an answer to Ensnaring Bridge? Because the burn player will never have another card in his hand at all. And the human stack has a couple of humans, but now it is the dreadful look at the sideboard, which mostly from my own experience always follows the realization that nope, it is very unlikely that I have a card in there. And
that game is over. The match is won by the burn player.
So what happened here is the humans player realized in the back of his mind, slowly thinking like, ensnaring bitch. What can I do about ensnaring bitch? And I was like, I think I can do nothing. He looked at his side, but he was like, confirmed, I can do absolutely nothing. And scoop, because there's nothing. It might take the burn player like 10 more turns to draw enough burn to kill him, but there's nothing he can do about it. It's complete inevitability.
So we can now see how they have sideboarded.
Exactly, that's a good point. So we see path to exits coming in. I think I would agree with that decision, definitely.
Yes, I would so too.
And we have, is that a copy of Volcanic Fallout? Can you confirm on that? That would be great. If it were Volcanic Fallout, I would love it. I've seen it out of burn sideboards. I got crushed locally by a burn player playing Volcanic Fallout against me before. It's quite cool with Monastery Swift Spear as well, because it survives.
Do you might explain what it does?
Yeah, so what Volcanic Fallout does, it's an instant, it was in its heyday in low in standard when Fairies was big, because it's an instant that costs 1 generic, 2 red, and it deals 2 damage to each creature and to each player, and it can't be countered. That's why it was so good against Fairies. So it's basically a token sweeper, and in a burn deck it has utility because your Monastery Swift Spears survive the Fallout due to the prowess trigger.
True that.
But yeah, so we got a pretty clear sweep here of burn against 5-color humans. So yeah, we'll see you later with the next match. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.